All I want to do is make art every day. I don't care if I make any money. I don't care if I have a big car. I don't care if I have a big house. I do need a big studio, you know. The other people around me, people I began to work for in my construction, recognized it and said, they would say things like to me like, you know, you're really creative. I don't know if this construction is really what you should be doing, you know. I was, as a child, I was never allowed to do art. I was never allowed to take any art, you know. Son, math, and science are the future. In my 50s, I rebelled. My art came out of math and science. My continuing education ended up to be in engineering, and I dropped that and started construction. So it was only natural that I use the tools that I used in construction. So those were my first tools. I try and take dead trees and resurrect them into, you know, this new life. Most people don't even recognize it as a tree, even though it has the shape of a tree and the form of a tree. They just don't believe it's a tree. I mean, even when they say, well, what's this made out of? I said, it's a tree, a painted tree. They're going, no, it's not. It's not a painted tree. There's no way that can be a painted tree. I try and pull that in and to make people question, what have we done to nature? First they see it, they don't recognize it as nature, then at some point they find out that it's a natural object, and then they go, why was this done? What does it mean? The funny thing about it is the inspiration comes from a time when I never thought about doing art. My inspiration comes from growing up in a city that was out of control. Its environment was out of control. I grew up in Houston. I was born in Houston when it was like 200,000 people. They clear-cut the woods that I grew up in. It was my hiding place, my escape for that. And at some point in my later teen years, it was clear-cut, and I became one of the people in construction actually building on my clear-cut forest. And my first pieces of my own work were done in 1999 from the trees that I picked up in 1967. And it wasn't until after I made the piece that I realized that these pieces were from that forest. So I was like, wow, what does this mean?